Hi, everyone. This is Adriana, and we are joined here again with my grandmother, Caitlin, and this is our Heart to Heart Astrology Podcast. If you guys are new here, we are grandmother and granddaughter sharing our heart to heart message with astrology and all the energy going on. And we split the video up basically into two parts. So we have two videos every month. So for this month of June, we're going to be focusing on the important astrological alignments for the first couple weeks of June. And then for the last couple weeks of June, we'll have a separate video. So stay tuned for that. Might be seeing this on actually the beautiful Galactic Astrology podcast or channel, I should say, by Julia Balaz. If Caitlin, if you wanted to tell your share your news again.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Caitlin. We have all of our quantum soul guidance practitioners that choose to put their videos there. I'm placing my Bhakti Galactic Healing YouTube channel with them. And Adriana, you have your Starry Sky Readings channel as well. So we would love you to come over and check out our channels, because we have other videos that aren't posted on the Galactic Astrology. And if you're enjoying what we're sharing, we would love to have you come join our family of light. We welcome you.
Yes, thank you all for joining us and for listening in to both our perspectives and messages that we have to share today.
We're going to just mention the solar flares. We had an X 2.9 today. And I'm sure if you're feeling the results of it, you may notice you're having some dehydration symptoms. It's just a huge amount of light coming from the sun. A solar flare is like a volcanic eruption on the sun. And if you go to Space Weather Live with NASA in the United States, by the way, I'm in the US and Adri's in the UK, coming to you from
yes,
both sides of the world here across the ocean. But anyway, so some of the symptoms can be like foggy brain, dizziness, lightheadedness. These are the dehydration symptoms that can be experienced during these high level flares. I definitely experience it. My husband, everybody I talk to has been talking about it. I think it's a little more well known about because we had like 16 of them earlier in May, a huge onslaught, and then here it's come back. So we'll see where it's going to go. But we drink extra water. We drink alkaline water and distilled water, kind of a little bit of each across the day. There you go. And if you do a lot of dehydrating beverages, really be careful, because all the symptoms, it can affect our bladders. I mean, just so many things. So I've been talking to are saying, yes, I'm experiencing that. So once they increase their water, get some nice electrolyte replacer in there, they are feeling better, So I took mine this morning. I have had 2 huge glasses of water and an electrolyte replacer glass of water with the noon NUUN tablets. So
yeah,
that's
I actually have a slight headache. It's probably from the solar flare too.
Headaches, yes. That's high on the list. Yeah, fatigue. There's a bunch of symptoms. You could go online and look at dehydration symptoms and just see, do I have that right now? And take care of yourself. Self-care is important.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're always talking about self-care and the importance of it, aren't we?
We are, totally. Well, would you like me to go ahead and start with today, what we're going to be talking about? Does that sound good? Okay. So I would like to talk about the 2 Cazimis we are having in June we're in 2024. And there's the first one's coming up is going to be on June 4th. So we're very close. So what is a Cazimi? No, it's not a new pasta from Sicily that my husband would try. So, but a Cazimi happens when a planet conjoins with the sun. And it's at about 17 minutes of the arc of the heart of the sun. And when this happens, it creates a most powerful connection in its center. So this is known as a Cazimi. which translates as if of the heart, or I've heard the heart of the sun. It's so beautiful. So it is like the sun and the planet is conjuncting and becoming one being. Some of you may want to check your charts, or Adriana, or I could do that with you. You may have in your natal chart a conjunction between Venus and the sun, or other types, and that it's a really tight orb within that 17-minute arc, then you have a Cazimi in your chart. So it's worth looking into. It's really fascinating. So when this happens, the archetypal patterns, themes, and meanings of that planet are fully purified, strengthened, and illuminated, especially in that moment of connection. So you can feel the effects of this energy days ahead and days beyond the moment of the actual Cazimi. So again, June 4th is when this is taking place, 2024, the Venus Cazimi. And it's also could be referred to as the Venus star point. And you could go online and look into that if you want to investigate it. And it occurs in Gemini for this one. And this will inspire each of us to speak our truth from our hearts and express our deepest thoughts and feelings confidently, eloquently, and compassionately. With a Venus Cazimi in Gemini, we may become a great storyteller and focus more clearly on what we are learning, which will bring great value to our experiences. Gemini's superpowers are great communication skills and problem solving. The sun in Gemini helps us to shine the light on the best way to communicate, what is out of balance, what needs to be healed, and where we may find the resolution. So Venus in Gemini may help us discover our own self-worth, also our ability to love, be loved, and be loving in many different ways. So I'm going to put my screen up here, share screen. Give me a moment. This is new for me. Only done it one time. Sure, everybody can see the great attractor down here. This is what I was on. And then we want to see where Venus is. And Venus is, where is Venus? Where are you? Right here. Okay. Right there is Venus. And here is the great attractor that I'm going to be talking about. Okay. So, so what is the great attractor? And right now, Venus in Gemini is at 14 degrees, and it will be opposite the great attractor, which is at 14 degrees of Sagittarius. So this is the Sagittarius symbol here, great attractor. And again, Venus up here in Gemini. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Okay. So what is the great attractor? It's a huge super duper supercluster, larger than our Milky Way galaxy, and has the ability to pull other galaxies, including our Milky Way, toward it. So when we have alignments in our natal planets and the points and houses connected to it, then we would have, like, possibly you could have a conjunction with the great attractor, or in this case, there could be, well, there could be sextiles, trines. Trine is like being in harmony with something. Sextiles is, well, we're not totally on the same page, but somehow we're going to get along really well. So those are just gives you little ideas of what these aspects we're talking about. But when we have a conjunct with it, we can be a very magnetic person, have strong magnetic abilities. In fact, I personally have 3 conjuncts with the great attractor in my Jupiter, with just a 0.20 orb. And my Saturn and my vertex are also, the vertex is our point of fate. And Saturn is kind of the structure in our lives. I don't have an opposition or a square with the great attractor. And I was born a magnetic healer. So I feel a lot of akin and kindred spirit with the great attractor. It feels comfortable to me. So what is the magnetic energy that I'm talking about? It's something we can pick up on that could be around anything, people, animals, plants, gemstones, crystals. We can feel these things, and you can feel when it's out of balance. So with this June 4th alignment with the Venus Cazimi and Gemini, it's going to be opposing, and that means kind of working against the great attractor in Sagittarius. So our magnetic fields could feel a little bit out of balance. So kind of forewarned is forearmed. So mark this date, June 4th, on your calendar and be aware of any magnetic forces trying to push or pull you away from your goals, whether arising from within you with sabotaging thoughts and feelings, or others trying to squash your plans to move forward. The good news is there's more positive energy and positive forces with this alignment. And always remember, it's about perspective. Don't feel like it's gloom and doom. You can always change it with your thoughts. So let's do a little bit of questions, and Adrian and I can talk a little bit about it. So look at yourself with these questions. How are you viewing your experience? Is it from lack or from prosperity? Are we in poverty consciousness or prosperity consciousness? Do you have a crystal clear clarity about what is happening? Or are you off in the clouds struggling to get grounded in what is truth with loving discernment? And another question, will you become the beauty, pleasure, and inspirational energies available during this cosmic alignment? So how do you choose to shine your light and love? We have that choice. What do you think, Adriana?
Yeah, I really liked the word of explaining it as magnetic. I just pictured two magnets when
Yeah.
they're, the opposite magnets, and they're pushing away instead of connecting. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's that was a good way for me to think of that kind of energy going on there with that opposition. So yeah, I think that really resonates too with what you were saying about, is there certain things that we're pulling ourselves away from? Is there any sort of self-sabotage with that
Oh,
too?
yeah,
With our thoughts, with,
that
Gemini
happens.
there. Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, if
how
we're
can
so
you get
focused on
out of that? Hmm.
right. Well, that's by being more focused on your own thoughts and your own the inside of you versus out here. If we're so focused on the person out here or situation, whatever, and that we become the victim, and we've just stepped out of prosperity consciousness, then when we focus more
Mm.
on ourselves, we have power because we can change those thoughts. And it's it's absolutely amazing if you start practicing that. You can't fix anything out here. Nobody's done it. Let's face it. If that was the case, this world would be amazing,
Mm.
all pink, fluffy energy everywhere, we would have fixed everything. Kind of like your picture in the background. I like that.
Right, yeah. Pink
With
fluffy
the,
trees.
yes. I'm over here in the weeds and things over here having fun. So yeah, it's all an inside job. I can't say that enough. It's like
Mm.
I've been doing this stuff for 30 years, close to 30 years with healing work, and every client, student that I work with, they've heard this a bazillion times.
Mm.
Share everything, they get it off their chest, they release, and then boom, it's all an inside job.
Yeah. And the power of thought too is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
powerful as well. Yeah. Your
It
own
be
thoughts can be your worst enemy
Oh
sometimes.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's free will is a gift, and it can also be a little bit of a curse at the same time. So
Mhm.
we but we have that gift to go in and balance your feminine and masculine within.
Mhm.
Balance your light and your dark. Get the polarities balanced, and your life changes. Out here then
Mm.
becomes very different because you've changed in here. In the Bible, Jesus Christ talked about, the kingdom of God is within you. And then in the not so popular Gospel of St. Thomas, it went, the kingdom of God is within you, and then without, which means around us. So we start in here, and then it appears out here. Also,
Mhm.
pray as though you already have received. Another wonderful Jesus Christ quote from the Bible. So,
Yeah, good mindset to have.
yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. That's where so many people talk about The Secret or, creative visualization. Well, that's pray as though you've already received. You already have it.
Yeah.
All the Father hath is mine. These were all beautiful teachings
Mhm.
that are resonate more than ever now. So the
Mhm.
teachings are wonderful to study.
Well, it's
Okay.
like that song, money can't buy you love, right? You can, maybe to an extent it can, but
Well,
yeah, you have
how many
to.
times, yeah, people become extremely wealthy and then they realize they're still stuck with
They're still
their
unhealthy.
problem.
Yeah.
They just have more money, and then they maybe even have more problems.
More money, more problems. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
more like happiness has nothing to do with things on the outside. It's choosing to be
Exactly.
happy,
Yeah.
choosing to be choose to be wealthy, choose
Yeah.
it, and
Make,
then
make
you
the best.
magnetize.
Yeah. Make
Yeah,
the best out of the situations that you
absolutely,
can.
absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with Gemini this month.
Mhm,
So I can
mhm.
actually go into my next point now if you were finished
Please.
talking about this Cazimi. I know there's another Cazimi you'll mention too. But yeah, Gemini has a lot going on. We have a Gemini new moon on June 6th. So a couple days after this Cazimi. I like that word, Cazimi. It does sound like a pasta,
Oh,
like you said.
that's the Sicilian in you.
Yeah, right. But it's yeah, at 1:37 p.m. British time, well, UK time, 8:37 a.m. Eastern time for the United States. And this will also be conjunct Venus and Gemini, all at 16 degrees. So if you have your birth chart, your natal chart, you can check at 16 degrees where you have this, or maybe somewhere close to 16 degrees, as this can indicate in your chart where you might be having some new beginnings, where some new things starting. So the new moon is a lot of new energy, new starts to things. It's kind of having you look at, with the full moon, you let go of things. The new moon, it's like you're ready to start back up again. So yes, it will be all conjunct at 16 degrees, so you can check that. And it's part of a beautiful Gemini stellium. So what is a Gemini stellium? I know we're throwing all these fancy words today, but it's basically 4 or more signs are in a zodiac, or 4 or more planets rather, are in a single zodiac sign. So there's a lot of Gemini energy going on. So that's like Mercury energy, that communication, expression, even travel, information thrown in there. I'll share my screen now too, so you can see. So there it is. There's all that Gemini energy clustered together here with the new moon. And it's actually, it looks like there's a conjunction too to Hyades, which is part of the Hyades
Mhm.
constellation. It's very similar to Pleiadian energy, as Caitlin has spoken about. It's very similar energy, very psychic energy, actually, which is very works very well with Gemini. So there can be a lot of psychic things going on. So those of you very in tune with your intuition and psychic abilities, you could have more experiences with that too around that time. So this can lead to, what is this bringing here? So this can lead to a lot of information surfacing. I know I've been talking about this a lot, but it's really happening a lot this year. I talked about this with the Pluto retrograde, and even with Pluto in Aquarius too. It's bringing a lot of information out. So we're seeing a lot of that on the internet, in media. So as we have said before in our previous video, just be very mindful of what you see and use your discernment. Discernment is always key. Use your intuition with all that Gemini energy here. this also can indicate a lot of mental activity. So, but be
Mhm.
mindful of information overload, overanalyzing, overthinking, similar to what kind of you were saying too, not getting, too caught up in our thoughts where we're self-sabotaging or anything like that. You also may feel more forgetful at this time. So take it one step at a time and breathe through it. The stellium will last for a few days. So just take it, one step at a time throughout this week here during June 4th, 6th, the rest of that week. So this new moon, again, is all about new beginnings. Utilize the Gemini energy to write down your goals. It's a perfect time for writing with Gemini too. Write down your goals, even short-term ones, especially since this new moon is, okay, so yes, it is actually conjunct the fixed star. So it's hard to kind of tell on this chart here, but it is conjunct the fixed star Rigel. So Hyades, this might be more so the Mercury here, but the energy is still close to it. But it is actually conjunct Rigel, which is part of the Orion constellation we've talked about before with Orion. And it's a very powerful connection here. So it's a good one when it comes to writing down goals and getting things done, taking action. With the new moon conjunct Venus in Gemini, new romances and new beginnings in love can occur. I also get a sense of a very flirty energy, socializing, dates, all that fun stuff there. I'll actually stop sharing my screen now because we don't really have to look at it anymore. But for those of you interested in astrology, we like to show you the chart too. So looking at this new moon's conjunction, going back to Rigel and the Orion constellation, it exudes a very benevolent, favorable energy from this very bright star, Rigel. It's located in the Hunter Orion. The constellation of Orion is shown as the Hunter. It's located in his leg, or sometimes they say his knee, depending how it's depicted. So he brings us kind of a step in the right direction, pun intended, so to speak, so that any new ideas or goals that you are wanting to set into motion at this time, it will be very favorable and will have a very successful outcome. It's a star that has a very successful energy around it. So definitely a good time to get that favorable outcome, especially so when it's to pursue what brings you a sense of fulfillment. So it's a good time for you to ask yourself, what inspires you? What can bring you more emotional fulfillment for you? Is there something you've been wanting to do or pursue? It's a good time to, start looking at those things and really seriously thinking about it. So that is what I wanted to share about the new moon. And then you also said another Cazimi is happening soon after, the next week.
Yes, we're getting Cazimi.
A double Cazimi.
This one's making June extra special. Yes, with all this, you mentioned the Gemini stellium, it just makes you feel like you're way up in the clouds. I mean, I've noticed as soon as Jupiter went into Gemini on May 25th, I really felt that big time. And then with all the Pleiadian energies as well. And I just put out a video on the Pleiades, and I'm calling it Big Love. And if you haven't seen it, please join me at Bhakti Galactic Healing and check out that video. But I'm going to talk now about the Mercury planet that is at 24 degrees Gemini. Is actually conjunct the fixed star of Enelem, and that translates from Arabic as string of pearls, and Mesa, which translates from Arabic as the shining one. Both of these stars shine brightly in the Orion constellation. So on June 14th is the day of the Mercury Cazimi in Gemini. You may feel a one-pointed focus, a very inspiring energy, which may help your mind feel brighter, and you may communicate with more clarity. So Mercury is the planet of communication, and it loves Gemini. That's its ruling. Mercury is the ruling planet of Gemini. So there's a definite love between these two. Virgo also is in relation to Mercury as well. A little bit different energy there, though. So let's talk a little bit about the string of pearls that came up with the star Mesa in Orion constellation. This one really stood out to me because it could bring us an ability to focus on one pearl at a time. So you think of a beautiful necklace, one pearl at a time. So you could be like a jeweler with a specific lens to look right at that one little pearl, looking for any imperfections in the pearl. So the sun in Gemini brings those powerful rays to shine through the anilum conjunction. That's the second star conjunction, and point out a specific detail of importance you don't want to miss. And that translated as the shining one. So looking at that one detail. So again, I think of detailed oriented Virgo energies, which are also associated with Mercury. They could pop up on June 14th. So the portals of wisdom may pour in on this special day, illuminating resolutions we may never have thought of before. So you may feel more connected to your higher self and receive powerful downloads, especially if you are a Gemini or Virgo. You know, I have a Virgo moon. And I know that this will be a powerful day for me. But those are the two signs that will get the most blessings. Gemini is getting a lot of blessings this year with Jupiter in there too. So I would love to share my screen again, the positioning of where what I was just talking about. So here's Mercury, the Cazimi here.
So it's like right over each other.
Yes. And then here's Mason and alum right there, right across, right there. So that's what I'm talking about. So I was guided to, I don't do the cards like Adri does. Adri's amazing with tarot, and if you should contact her to tarot reading for sure. But I do have like oracle type decks. I have these galactic heritage cards by Lisa Royal Holt, and that's what I got guided to pick out. And I got Orion, the past with deep polarity. So we were talking about really the need to balance the masculine, feminine, the light, the dark. And so what's interesting is those two stars are, I think, us doing a little bit more of that string of pearls, and the shining one is maybe our willingness to accept more of our light. Maybe we're not accepting enough of the light within us, always looking at ourselves like, what's wrong? What are the imperfections? So I feel that message is very much about learning how to integrate more of your light into the dark. You know, we talk a lot about, you know, that, but that I think is what is really important here with this particular alignment on June 14th.
Do you want to stop sharing the screen and show the card again so we could get a close-up?
Oh, you get a, okay. Yes, there it is.
There,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. Lisa Royal Holt Galactic Heritage cards. They're nice.
Yeah, I really would like to get those cards eventually too. I think they'll be very, very useful for galactic readings.
There's a lot of them. It's a huge, you can't divinate with the huge deck. It's impossible. I've tried to do it. You have to pray over it and then go, okay, give me a smaller portion of the deck and then go through those. It's huge. I don't know. There's, I don't know how many hundreds of cards that are in here.
Wow. Okay.
So it's really a value.
Wow.
I mean, she gives you so much information, and the book and descriptions are amazing. So much to learn from them. I know our Quantum Soul guidance group, QSG, everybody loves these cards. They talk about them all the time.
yeah, I can go ahead and share my tarot. I'm gonna pull it live for you guys while we're on the call. Like I said last time, I just think it's fun. If we have enough time, I like to pull it live so you can, see the live pull. I do want to just give a little quick shout out to it's called there's a shop that I went to the other weekend in the beautiful seaside town of Whitby in the UK. It was so beautiful being near the sea, and I just, that's the mermaid in me. I
Yes.
love being
Yeah.
in the
Love
water.
the
Yeah, so just being near the sea, it was so nice and refreshing. We went to this well, I went into this really cute shop, which, funny enough, I didn't realize it until I spoke with the lady working there. She might be the owner, actually. The shop is actually on a ley line. It's right
Mm,
outside of a ley line, so you could really feel the energy, in that
yes.
area. So it's like it just pulls
Oh,
you right
yeah.
into that shop too.
Mm,
It's called
yeah.
the Gutsy Ginger. That's the name of the shop. Very cute name, the Gutsy Ginger. And they were selling these. I was really looking for like a cleansing spray since I do tarot cards and I'm working with energy all the time. It's so important to make sure you cleanse your space and cleanse yourself too, because you're picking up on
Yeah.
so many things and so many other people's energy. So I just wanted to show you guys, I have this beautiful cleansing spray. It smells amazing. It's lavender, sage, sweet orange, and then essences of gems of amethyst and clear quartz. So
Yes.
very refreshing, perfect for cleansing. So I'm gonna
Beautiful.
go ahead and so there's like a little intention on the back to remove any negativity from my life, cleansing my path. So I'm gonna go ahead and cleanse my space and cleanse you guys watching this. So I'm gonna give you guys little spritz too.
I'm ready. Spray me. Spray me.
So remove any negativity from my life, cleansing my path. Some for you.
Yes, I feel it.
Wipe my
I
camera.
wish I could. We need
There
a
you
sniff
go.
scene.
Send it out. It smells amazing. Yeah, I wish you could smell it. Pull my tarot message. So I'm going to just ask what we need to know. What message do we need to know for these first 2 weeks of June here?
Yes.
And now I have my cat joining me. He might he might pop in. He's like, oh, that smells nice. He's getting that good energy.
Yeah. Oh, cats know where the
Oh
energy
yeah.
is. They know.
I'm just shuffling my cards real quick. And funny enough, too, I'm using my Dreaming Cat Tarot deck.
Oh, beautiful.
So, cat lady, definitely.
Yes. Fur mama.
So, what do we need to know for the first 2 weeks of June? What does the collective need to know for the first 2 weeks of June? What's a collective message for the first 2 weeks of June that we need to know? What do we need to know for the first 2 weeks of June? Oh, here we go. Ooh, the Hierophant is out. Perfect with that Gemini energy, information, higher wisdom. This is a time of
Beautiful.
higher wisdom, accessing that from within yourself. I also see the World card is on the bottom of the deck here. Some traveling or starting a new chapter in your life, like that new moon energy, new beginnings. What new chapter are you starting in your life, utilizing your higher wisdom and all the knowledge that you have learned and maybe all the skills that you have acquired? Feels very
Yes. That's
spiritual too.
very
Spiritual,
beautiful.
seeking out spiritual wisdom and guidance if needed. Okay. So there is our message here. If Albus wants to say hello too, you say hi. There he is. Here's my
Albus.
baby.
It's Grandma Caitlin.
Yeah. Thank you for
I wish I could
joining us.
pet the screens. I'm petting you. Aw.
He's in the cherry
Well,
blossoms now.
we'll be
His tail.
returning with a second video for June. So please keep checking us out, and remember that to subscribe to our personal YouTube channels. I'm Bhakti Galactic Healing.
Yes, she
And
just made a
Adriana,
new channel. Yes, please go check her out.
and then Adriana's Starry Sky Readings.
Do check out the Galactic Astrology channel as well if you're watching it on mine or Caitlin's here too. So you might find us from all three places. We're a power of three now. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if it resonated and comment down below. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.